What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to the King and Me Show. I am King.
And I'm me, Michelle. Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
We're going to be a little bit different today. As you can tell, this is a pre recorded video. We are not live
What?
this time.
We're not live.
Yep, schedule could not permit it, but here we are. If I sound a little bit off, it is because your boy is a little bit up under the weather today. Yet, here we are providing this content. And you know what? I'm here for it.
Me too. I'm all the way here for it. So, y'all, tonight we have a funny topic. Like, this is an inside joke between me and King, and we just wanted to share it with you all. But before we get started, even though this is a pre-recorded message, it is streaming on Facebook and on Instagram. When are they?
Facebook and YouTube.
Did I say Instagram?
You did, but it's
My
all right.
bad. Facebook and YouTube. But you can check it out there. And I mean, like, hey, we have individual Instagram accounts that you can go follow if you want to. But please be sure to check us out wherever you are watching from. Make sure you hit that good old like button so that you can get some more content. And if for whatever reason, you just shacking up here on this couch with us, but you're not subscribing, you're not following us, like, why? Go ahead, hit that like, share, subscribe, follow button today, now. Okay? Thank you. That was dope. Make sure you go ahead and do that so that you can, be here with us for all the fun. Because if you're already doing that, then you got this notification instantly when it went live, and then you're not missing out on anything. But for those of you who didn't do that, then y'all may miss something, and we don't want you to do that.
Ooh, since this is pre-recorded, there's some things that I could do a little bit different.
Ooh, like what?
Let's talk about what we did this past weekend, and let's include the hiccup that we had before we get into today's subject. So,
Okay.
this past Friday was the 50th anniversary of hip hop, according to everybody.
Yes.
So that was August 11th. All right.
Mhm.
So August 11th is widely accepted as the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Michelle and I went to a dope concert at the CFG Bank Arena
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
in Baltimore, Maryland. And
Yes.
y'all, let me tell you, the lineup fire. It was the LL Cool J The Force Tour, which means frequencies of real creative energy.
Mhm.
And they had Queen Latifah, surprise guest Monty Love, because Monty Love wasn't on the billing.
Mm-mm.
It was hosted by The Roots and Black Thought. Black Thought, the personification of hip hop, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he said Baltimore right. He was like the only person
Only artist
who got
that
up there
kept
and
saying
said Baltimore.
Everybody else was like, Baltimore, what's good? Baltimore, where you at?
And then someone even made reference to Baltimore being in the DMV, and I swear you could hear boos instantly. Because for those of you who do not know, okay, geographically, Baltimore, Maryland is within the state, of Maryland, within Baltimore County. But Baltimore City does not in any way, shape, or form identify itself as being a part of the DMV, which is the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Baltimore is in Baltimore. Baltimore City is Baltimore. That's it. We are not a part of the DMV or anything like that. And you say Baltimore. It may be spelled Baltimore, but it is pronounced Baltimore. Okay? Baltimore. Pretend there's D and another A in there, and that's how you say it. And Black Thought was the only one who kept saying Baltimore. Everybody else kept saying Baltimore. No, boo. Just because it looks like that don't mean that that's how you say it.
Yeah, and who else? Rakim. So Rakim set it off. He was like one of the first to get through, and they also had De La Soul, which
De La Soul.
Whew,
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say about De La Soul. De La Soul's set was solid.
Yeah.
Baltimore weren't feeling De La Soul like how they was feeling everybody else.
No.
When LL got up there,
probably because I think that's the one who said DMV. I'm gonna be real honest. I think he is the one who said DMV. And Baltimore, Baltimore is not a part of the DMV.
Yeah, but everybody else's set was fantastic. Everybody was standing when Queen Latifah walked out. They were standing with LL, LL opened and LL closed with some different versions of some of the songs. It was a dope experience. So I don't dance. I'm rhythmically
Yeah.
challenged. And Michelle was up there. She was moving. She was dancing. And the interesting part is, so when I looked around, there wasn't a whole lot of like men weren't really dancing that much either. There was that couple that was behind us, the older couple.
Oh yeah, because they
Bro
was
was getting
grown.
down.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
bro
in
was
his
getting
zone.
down.
He was all the way in his
He
zone.
had to been at least 60
Yeah.
minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was jamming.
him and his lady was getting down. He was doing more dancing than she
She was,
was.
because I was just about to say he stood up before she did. Like when the music started, he stood up before she did, and he was getting it. But we have to tell them about the best part. Well, not the best part, because for me, Queen Latifah was the best part. For you, LL was the best part. But the funniest part was, now this is just me in my ignorance, because the last two concerts that I went to were last year. I went to a PJ Morton concert in Nashville, Tennessee, and I went to the Maverick City and Kirk Franklin tour in DC last year. So gospel and PJ Morton. But y'all, why? Please tell me why when we were at this concert, there were enough folk smoking that good old ganja.
Oh yes, Mary Jane was present.
Do you love me, Mary Jane? Do you? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like they were up and literally there was a woman right in front of us who the whole time that she was dancing, she was holding her blunt in her hand and she just had her lighter and she was just like grooving with both of them. Then there was this man behind us, not the dancing couple, but like over. There was this man behind us who had on a weed shirt and literally had weed and like he was just standing there and like you could see him holding his blunt. And then there was someone like a couple of rows ahead of us who was also smoking. And I'm just like, so we smoking at indoor concerts now? Like,
yeah, I guess that's
fire code? Like,
Yeah.
we ain't got, oh, okay. And I mean, it was good stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. It was that old school, old head weed, because like you could just tell by the stink of it that it was from that generation. But man, I was just like, I know we doing this indoors now.
Yep. Oh, and you also had a chance to see some relatives.
Oh yeah. So my cousin was there. My cousin, Aaron and his wife, Shantae, were there. So it was great to see them. I know some other people like my Facebook. I was looking at Facebook and like everybody was posting pictures of where they were, and I was like, dang, like everybody up in this piece. Okay, okay.
So overall, fantastic experience. I didn't feel bad that I wasn't one of the only men that weren't dancing because about 90% of the guys weren't. Now the one old head
he was
dancing,
two stepping.
I saw him moving.
Oh,
yeah,
you saw him moving. Okay, so you saw something I couldn't see.
I thought he might have pop locked at one point.
Like
dude was dancing like he used to dance, like dance.
Y'all was like, this is my element. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was getting down.
This was his element.
So shout out to that couple. Shout out to everybody that went. If you get a chance to go see any of the people that's doing the various tours or events for the 50th anniversary of Hip Hop Go, the energy, fantastic. You can't replicate that stuff. Yet, it almost didn't happen.
Wait. So before we get to how it almost didn't happen, there is one thing I noticed again, just like going through social media on Friday. It seemed like various cities across the country were having concerts on Friday night. So like I know people in New York were doing something because like I think like MC Light was somewhere doing something. And like other hip hop artists were around the country doing stuff. So like wherever you were this Friday, we hope you got to like turn up and celebrate with the 50th anniversary, August 11th, 1973, like dope times. Shout out to, where was it? Brooklyn when it got started.
Brooklyn's apparently the birthplace of hip hop.
Birthplace of hip hop. So like shout out to you, Brooklyn, with all love from B More. But yeah, that seemed like really, really dope. So okay, so now
there was two DJs. I forget one of the DJs, but the other one was DJ Jazzy Jeff. And he kept it live too.
Yeah.
Scratching. So.
Sidebar. I told you he was standing up the whole time. DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like this concert was like 3 hours long, okay? Because it's a lot of hip hop. And they paid homage to to the hip hop artists who have gone on before. So like they did play some Big Pun. They played a little bit of DMX. You want it? We gotta come and get it. Show you with it. All you gotta do is say, "Baby, ride or die." What y'all really want? What y'all really want?
Hey, my bark wasn't a.
Yeah, my bark was
Yeah.
a pathetic little chihuahua, so we ain't even.
That's all right, because mine was like right there with you.
Okay.
But you know what? When you're under the weather, you got excuses for everything.
So wait, what's my excuse?
You next to somebody that was under the weather.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yay. Oh, y'all, she's been like helping me get through this too, so thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, but we almost didn't go to the concert.
We almost didn't go to the concert. Why did we almost not go to the concert?
We had some static.
Just a little bit of static.
We both
I feel like
pre-ordered our fit, and it came in earlier in the week. Well, I'm the type that I normally like to go check out my stuff, and because I like to understand the way that stuff fit. Mm-hmm. Well, when I got it and I held it up, I said, "Oh, this looked like it'll fit. I shouldn't have any worries with this." Well, I didn't check mine out until Friday morning. I'm off Friday morning. We had some original plans Friday morning, but because of me, I canceled on them joints. All right.
I feel like that's a good thing to add. So we had plans for Thursday night and Friday morning, original plans that had literally been in our calendars for
3 weeks.
Like 3 weeks. They had been in our calendars. Stuff had been ordered so that we could do all of this. And then Wednesday night, he canceled those plans. Like we gotta put that in there.
I did.
So Friday morning we were getting ready to go to something that had also been on our calendar, but it was like in addition to the other thing. We were getting ready to go. King had just tried on the shirt and
I didn't like the way that it fit. So I told Michelle, "Hey, we're gonna have to change plans a bit, because I'm gonna have to go get me a shirt for tonight, and I want to do it solo." But I didn't tell her at the time because I didn't know how to say it. Like, so we're still getting the opportunities and chances to really learn each other. I don't like shopping with people, meaning I'd rather go. I have an idea of what I want. Let me go to these places, figure out my situation, and then going about my day. I figured she wouldn't like that, but I also didn't know how to tell her that. So when I said, "Hey, yeah, this is what happened. These are the plans that I like to execute," her energy just shifted. It shifted. And at the time, she couldn't say really what was on her mind, or really, how to say it, which her and I have talked about. Hey, if there's something that's going on, especially me, I'm the type that it's going to take me a second to really figure it out. So, and then be able to communicate it properly to you. So we'll never force somebody to say something that they don't really know how to say just yet. So for her, when I said what I said about going to go shop solo, she heard plans changed again. And one of the things that, at least from my perspective, that I know because you talked about it, you like spending time together. Yet it's interesting because if you like spending time together, but I like going to buy stuff by myself, how do we make that work?
Well, okay, so it's fair. I do like spending time. Like, that's one of my love languages. Quality time is definitely one of my love languages. However, is this a however? So we know that for those of you who don't know, I have ADHD, and for me, that I struggle a little bit with plans changing at the last minute. So like it takes my mind a minute to adjust to changes, and I struggle greatly with that. So for me, it's not so much that I heard that you wanted to be alone. It was plans are changing again. And like that was the thing for me. Like, oh my gosh, plans are changing yet again. And that's where I was just like, I kind of broke down for a second because I have a delayed reaction in catching up to that.
So coming from me, I could tell that with that second change, she wasn't feeling that news at all, right? And she had this weird aura about her. And I'm asking her, I'm like, "Hey, you okay?" She's like, "Yep." I'm like, but you're not. Like I can sense that you're not. So I forgot how we had our let's, talk about this and nip it moment, so to speak, because for me, if she was gonna have that energy that she had, I didn't want to be around that. I would not have gone to the concert. I'd have been like, look, I ain't feeling this old concert business with how our energy is right now. I'm canceling. That's just it. In my head, that's how that conversation was about to go. But her and I eventually we talked it out. I figured out afterwards that really for me, it's about just going to go get what I want, do it without having to consider anybody else's things at that moment, because then I could just focus. So I mentioned that to her later. She did come with me. I eventually was like, you know what? Come on. But oh man, there was I thought it was funny, but there was a point where I did get at for a second, I kind of got frustrated.
Mm.
And I dropped my phone. To other people, I threw my phone. But I had my phone in my hand and I dropped it. I said, you know what? But once I dropped it, I breathed. I was good. And then it was like, okay, let's get through this day. My kid was having an event where she was doing it was like a showcase for a concert.
Yeah.
So they were showcasing what they were going to be doing for show choir. So while we were having our static, we were going in support of my daughter's event, and we got through the event and we were still together and we ironed it out and we both apologized to each other. Now, you asked me what I was apologizing for. I don't think I ever answered that question.
I feel like you texted something, but so I want to kind of like back up just a smidgen. So King and I are both logical people, and we operate in somewhat of a logical manner. So for me, a part of the other thing with the Friday situation wasn't just plans changing. Like it was like 97% plans changing. But then the other part of me, like the other 3% was like, but you had the shirt since Monday. Why didn't you try it on then? Like, why you wait till the day of to try it on and realize that it didn't work? Because for me, especially considering where you got the shirt from, I'm just like, you could have returned it by now and gotten a
And got the
replacement.
replacement.
But you didn't. And I was just like, I didn't get that. So like again, part of my mind is trying to conceptualize the change that's about to take place, but also trying to understand like, but why didn't you try it on before? And this is like not coming from a place of judgment, but it was just a genuine, but why didn't you try it on before?
Yeah. And I don't have that. Like I said, when it first came in, I opened it. It came in on Monday. I opened it.
Showed it to
I
me.
put it up to her. Like, oh yeah, this looks like it'll go. But then actually trying it on, I didn't do that until Friday morning. Same day of the concert. We got past the initial static. We've communicated, which we talked about on our channel. Probably one of the things that you and I do well is we do communicate. And that initial frustration that I had, I want to say it came from, I was single after my divorce, and I did a lot of things just like Usher, my way, my way.
My
And
way.
I'm also a guy,
When I say go,
and I'm in control. I'm also a guy that I have a bit of a plan, but I think I work best when I'm just flowing on whatever I need to get done. Now, a challenge of that for me is involving other people, or when other people are involved, having to also consider what that person has going on too, right? So you're a grown, unique individual that has your thoughts and the way that you also like to do things. And in your head, you had your day planned a certain way, and then the person that you had it planned with just changed it all up, right? And I've been used to operating in a capacity, even when I have my daughter around, where I just go with the flow for what I think needs to get done without really considering too many other people at all. So that's where I had to come in and apologize at, because I did change up some things regardless. Regardless. One of those. Regardless of how you felt. And for that, I owed you an apology. So that is why I had apologized.
Well, thank you.
So, and that's not me sniffling because I'm sad and sharing feelings. Because guess what?
Feelings.
King don't cry. Actually, I do cry.
Feelings. Yeah, I've seen you cry.
Yeah, a couple of times. First time was probably at the movies.
Yeah.
Coming
Pretty
out
much
of
every time was over a movie.
Yes.
Man, we be watching some movies. Oh, speaking of which, so while you were taking a nap, I was looking at movie tickets. We got to get movie tickets to Blue Beetle, which comes out this weekend.
Yes.
And we got to get tickets for Equalizer 3. Both of them are currently on sale at our movie theater. So I was going to talk to you specifically about Blue Beetle to see what you want to do. Like if you wanted me to go ahead and get that ticket and then, whatever.
Bet. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll work that out after we finish this recording.
So here we are today talking about happiness in a relationship.
Yeah.
And more specifically, the title that we kind of have was part of this little inside joke that Michelle and I do, is where she says that heart smile, and I say, no, they don't.
So let me set this up for them, because I feel like if you set it up, you're going to have people thinking I'm out here crazy. Probably am, but you're going to have them really like believing that and holding on to it. So let me set this up for y'all, okay? So here's the thing, right? I am, of all the titles that I wear, one thing that I realized very early on, well, not very early on, very recently, is that I'm an empath. So I pick up on the feelings and emotions of other people. Whether I choose to respond accordingly to those feelings, I pick up something totally different. But I do pick up on them. And one thing that I have come to believe in my years of ministry and everything like that is that our hearts, we reflect on the outside how our hearts are on the inside. The health that our heart has, we literally reflect that on the outside. So if we physically have a bad heart, that can show up in so many other parts of our body, right? And likewise, if metaphorically speaking, our hearts aren't right, that shows up in who we are. So I believe that when a person, he's laughing at me already. I believe that when a person
because I do have a bad heart. I do.
You don't have a bad heart. What you have is a big heart. A heart that's too big.
Okay.
I like that. See how I set that up, y'all? He has a heart that is too big. A special heart. But I believe that our hearts can smile, in that happiness can radiate so much from the inside of us that it comes out in every single thing that we do, in every way that we interact. And I believe that in our relationship, there are moments where King's heart smiles and that happiness just comes out and radiates in everything that he does. However, he chooses not to believe that.
Because hearts don't smile.
They do. Who would have thought that it was possible to have a heart that's too big? But yeah, here you are with a heart that's too big. Your heart is too big.
Hearts don't smile.
Your heart is too big.
So, my counter to it is this.
Okay.
How you are is how you are. Like when you met me, I was the way that I am. You were the way that you were, right? People, I think, would generally describe you as somebody that's happy-go-lucky.
Just so weird, because like...
Generally, you are, though.
Am I?
Yes. So we now have a joke, because you lived in Frederick longer than I have.
By 2 years.
We both really get out and do stuff. Yet, in the short time that I've known her, I think I've met more people that knew me through her than they know me from just being out myself.
His daughter, so the three of us, me, King, and his daughter, have this running joke that every time the three of us go out, I'm bound to run into like this exorbitant amount of people that I know. And again, I will wholeheartedly say it seems to only be when Castle's around. To everybody that I know, they're like literally we take 2 steps. Or take 2 more steps. Hey, Miss Early. Hey, boo. How you doing? Why? Like, go to work, do something. Like, it seems like that happens a lot when his daughter is around. Because when I be walking the streets by myself, I don't see that many people that I know. But I digress. Go ahead.
So for both of us, I think people would generally consider us both happy-go-lucky. You made a joke earlier today on the show Lioness. The husband of the main character, Zoe Saldana. How do you say her name? Saldana.
Yeah.
She is this character that's like spec ops, badass individual. She goes out and she does things that not too many people do to keep our streets.
Special ops. Okay.
To keep our streets safe. And one of the things that the husband said is that no matter what happens in her life and her job or whatnot, he always finds himself when she walks in. He said that she lights up his life or something like that. And as I'm sitting here,
so someone asked like why, like essentially like why was the husband still with her and with him, and the husband said that when she walks into a room she still lights up the room, and I was like, I'm trying to get Kate to feel that.
And she said she's trying to get me to feel that way. But here's something that I can say.
Say it right into the microphone, that way we can hear it.
I'm gonna say it into the microphone. So one of the reasons why we've lasted as long as we've lasted, it isn't because of me, in my opinion. I think it's because of you. And what I mean by that is this. Like Steve Urkel said, you want me down? No,
I did.
No.
Well, I mean, we said that in the first episode.
That's also true.
We said that in the first episode.
You do have qualities about you that, since I've known you, have elevated, I think, both of us. And I've noticed that and observed that. And I'll say this because I'm 39. Ooh, I was say 38.
Nah.
I was say 38. I'm 39. I just
39.
had my birthday.
And fine.
Thank you. 39 and fine. And being older, I've gotten to kind of realize the people that I want to have around me. And it's people that have good energy, people that do have a certain aura about them, and you have a good energy, you have a good aura about yourself, that it makes it easy to be around you. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, there go Michelle. Oh, Michelle's calling. Oh, here she go. No. I don't get that from her at all. Whenever she do call, I'm like, ooh, here's Michelle. Oh, hey, she's pulling up, and it's been that way since you and I have gotten to know each other, and I think a lot of that has to do with just you. Like, you seem to really enjoy spending time with me. That's dope. To want to spend time with somebody else, I think is a pretty good thing. That makes me understand that I can bring value to you the same way that you bring value to me. So I'm thankful for that. So that's a long way of saying, I mean, I do want you to stick around.
It's your heart.
No.
I'm sorry, y'all. No. I am working on how do I put this nicely? My childishness and not laughing after serious moments like that. So, but this is who we are. This is who we are.
Yes. So I tell her that hearts don't smile. Oh, and also she's heard me say, like, because I don't miss people.
Yeah,
that's another daily thing too, where she'll be like, "Do you miss me?" And I'll just look her straight in the face. Nope. So, I don't miss anybody though.
2 things to know about King. 1, King don't miss nobody. Like, nobody. Which, when he first said that to me, I was like no one. But then I changed the way I thought about it. And to me, when we say we miss someone, that means that when we are in their presence, we must not be fully enjoying and like embracing their presence, to the point that when we're no longer around them, like we feel like we have to make up for like missed time or something like that. But when I hear King say that he doesn't miss someone, what I'm really hearing is, but when I'm in your presence, I am making the best of our time together. as such, when I'm not in your presence, I'm okay. So like that's how I really hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I'm not going to joke him about it. Like, of course I'm going to be like, you missed me yet? Like, I'm about to. The reason why we can't have this live is because tomorrow I'm going. Well, today, Monday, I'm going on a work thing, a work retreat. And of course, I'm going to naturally like hit him up like an hour after I depart and be like, "Do you miss me?"
And I'm gonna give you the same reaction every time.
Actually, he doesn't. I want to be fair. He does not give me the same reaction every single time. He'll say something smart every single time. Gone are the days when he would just say, "Nope." He actually says something like, "Do pigs fly?" or something like that. Like he'll throw in some kind of smart rhetoric to it to make it like the equivalent of a no without actually saying no. But yeah, that's where we are now.
I've actually been trying to find new and creative ways
See?
of doing that, and I'm curious how long I'm gonna go.
Well, you have time. You got maybe like 24 hours to work on something good for when I message you.
Okay.
And the second thing to know about King does not get jealous. King does not process jealousy. He may be able to understand envy, but he does not process jealousy. So those are one is a good thing. One was a adjustment thing to get used to. But I feel like his heart is smiling most of the time.
No.
So again, so what does a heart smile mean? A heart smile means that something has happened in your life that is bringing you an immense amount of joy, like not even it's just so much joy that you can't even begin to describe it, and it's shining through in everything that you do. So your ex-wife Cassie, like I remember one time she said that your daughter can make your heart smile, which I also agree to. Like Castle can definitely make someone's heart smile because like think about when she was performing on Friday. Like you made a comment that like she looked so amazingly comfortable and just like in her zone when she was on that stage. That didn't make your heart smile?
It made me proud.
Okay, so that's along the lines of heart smiling. Where do you think that comes from? It comes from here. It comes from in your ticker.
No. No.
Yes, that's exactly where it comes from.
Not the same.
It is. It's along the same lines. They're like kissing cousins.
All right, look, I'm not going to ask y'all to pick sides, but I am curious.
But pick sides.
For the people who are listening, what do y'all think? It is a proud moment the same thing as a heart smiling?
Yeah.
Fellas, where y'all at? I know the fellas got me on this one.
No. Support me. Support me. I know I got at least one person supporting me.
There's going to be several people that will support your thought on this. I'm curious if it's going to be. No. No. Not at all.
I think that's exactly why. I'm so sure. I'm confident. If nothing else, I've got confidence. I felt like there are so many moments here where I could have just broken out into song. Like I'm proud of me for the moments that I didn't break into song. That's growth.
It is.
I'll just do all this take it off.
So I'm a little bit up under the weather.
Just a little bit.
We have a talisman.
We do.
Queenie,
a stuffed animal.
Queenie's a stuffed animal.
Stuffed bear. So cute.
That we share between both her and I. That depending on the mood and how things are going, like that's who has Queenie.
Yep.
All right. So you and I are both in a good spot. We're both happy. Queenie goes back to you after today, right?
Not necessarily. Can you zoom in on me?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't have the tech ability to be able to do it. Actually, let me try.
Darn.
Hold on. But while I do that, keep talking.
Okay. So the reason why Queenie is not going to the little TMI information as to why it's technically my turn to be with Queenie. I have no
idea where she's going with this.
No, I'm not going to say the TMI thing because it is TMI. It's too much for them. But technically Queenie would be coming with me, but the reason why Queenie is not going to come with me is because you're under the weather. Queenie needs to stay with you and keep you comfortable and make sure that you are well and, healing and everything like that. She needs to be with you. Plus, I am about to go to a hotel. So, I'm about to go to a hotel. She might as well stay here with you, be comfy, and make sure you're well.
Okay. I don't have the ability to do the Zoom in.
Aw, it's okay.
I'm gonna have to work on that. Because I'm going to have moments where I'm gonna be like, zoom in on me, and I'm gonna need it to be like, boop, right here.
Right there in your
where I
face.
drop some knowledge or gems or something. Do you have tissue down here?
That's why I wanted you to zoom in on me.
Okay. How about I go fix myself real quick,
and then I just talk to everyone?
and then you talk to everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So King and I, we laugh and we joke. And one of the other things that we always want to share, especially in our live streams, is yes, we're giving dating advice. And we're giving like on the fly dating advice. Like the saying goes, we're building the plane as we fly it. And we want you all to be able to still learn and grow and get some comedy in the midst of everything that we're talking about. So that's what we're doing here. But going back to the heart smiling, I think that sometimes the reason why the banner for this says happiness in a relationship is because I personally do not subscribe to the belief that your happiness should come from another person, whether that's your partner or anyone else. I believe that your happiness has to be intrinsic. It has to be something that's coming from within you or coming from God, like wherever you get it from, but it can't come from another person. Because if your happiness comes from another person and something happens to that person or to your relationship with that person, then that means your happiness goes away. And I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to anyone else. So that's why I don't believe in that. But I do believe that people can offer you elements of happiness. Joy, again, internal, but people can offer you elements of happiness. The other saying is that happiness is because something is happening. And we don't really want to link all that stuff to external things that we can't control, situations that we can't control. Hey, welcome back, Phil.
I'm back. I didn't run.
Of course not. You wouldn't run.
Hey, pause. So these couches in a couple of episodes are gonna be gone.
Bye-bye, couches.
I don't know what the replacements are gonna be, but there's gonna be a whole different backdrop set. I don't know in the upcoming months, but we have time to process that later.
We do have time to process that later. Oh, thank you for sharing that change with me so that I could process it.
So what did you tell the people while I was gone?
I told the good people that the title of this episode, or like the banner, says happiness, and happiness is in parentheses, happiness and relationships. Because I don't believe that your happiness should be linked to another person, like not a person you're dating, not another human being or anything like that. Because if something happens to that person, then something is happening to your happiness. Your happiness, your joy should be intrinsic, or it should be something that comes from God or whatever spiritual deity you choose to believe in, but it should not come from another person. And I feel like that's where a lot of relationships go south. Like you hear so often, like, this is my better half or everything like that. Oh, I know. I knew that saying kills me. I knew that
saying kills me. Yeah. This is my better half. Shut up.
Again, so like I feel like when you say stuff like that, no, you're good, babe. I feel like when you say stuff like that, like you're putting a lot of weight, a big burden on the other person, and that's not fair. It's not fair to do that. Mm-hmm. All right, what you got for us?
You said it. You pretty much summed up and said a lot that I agree with and would say myself. I talked about it during the last episode too, is don't put your happiness into somebody else. And two, before you could get into a relationship, you got to be in a good place yourself. Michelle and I met at a really good point in our life individually. Had we met earlier, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. I can speak for myself on that. I wasn't in a place that I would have been okay with bringing somebody new in long term. Definitely wasn't something that I probably even say, probably February of last year was probably a good point for me in which I had
And
really
it wasn't for
started
me
to
because I was in a
understand
relationship,
myself.
a
so
dying relationship. But
so but I was happy in myself. I was happy in my life, happy with what was going on,
yeah,
and it allowed me to be able to have space that for as much as I didn't want to have a relationship, not with you, just in general, I didn't want a relationship with anybody. And it wasn't out of a place of just not being happy. It was actually, I was in a good spot. I was in a good place. And I actually couldn't see how anybody else fit into the thoughts and things that I had going on. Because I'm like, look, I'm about to be 40 here in a couple of years. I'm only living here until my daughter turns a certain age. I had this plan, this roadmap of how things were going to go. So I'm like, to have something serious with anybody wouldn't make any sense because chances are I'm going to blow up their life in a couple of years with what I have going on. And that's a topic for a different time between you and I. A lot of this stuff she already
I
knew.
know. Like, it's, we give that dramatic pause and look
Yes.
for y'all, but like we've had these conversations. We're good. We're good.
So for me, again, getting into a relationship involves you being happy with where you're at in life, with what you have going on, and things like that. I can speak for myself and say that I was good. Looking at you, if I didn't think that you were either, I wouldn't have pursued it. I'm gonna tell you right now, this would not be a thing if I would have thought Shell's damaged. Shell's not happy.
Yeah.
I would have been like, why should I be in a relationship when you're not happy with yourself? That's literally what I might have said to her.
But that's a good point, though. Like, for real, I don't know if we said this last week or the week before. Don't get in a relationship if you are not content and at peace with who you
You are.
are. Like, oh my gosh, please, 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 hurt people, heal people, heal people. Like, if you are hurt, if you were still cut, bleeding, you gonna go and you gonna bleed off on other people who didn't cause you no damage. You got to take time to heal before you can get into another relationship. And when I got out of my last relationship, like I know that he probably looks at myself and is like, "Oh, I knew this was going to happen." Because I think I told you. I don't know if I told them, but I think I told you. My ex said that within a year of the two of us, he and I breaking up, that he knew I was going to be married within a year of us breaking up, and I'm like, that's no way for you to walk around in a relationship with someone thinking that if the two of y'all ended, that person would not only be with someone within a year, but married to that person within a year. Um, because that just proves like you weren't in it. Like, why were you even in that relationship? Two, I know that person, I know he's not healed. Like, I know he wasn't healed before we got in our relationship. He wasn't healed in our relationship. And I know he's still not healed out here. Um, but when you do stuff like that, like when you continue to enter into a relationship and you're not healed from the stuff that's happened to you in the past, you are just hurting and further damaging yourself and that person that you were in a relationship with.
Exactly, because really think about this too. For somebody to say that, and for somebody to say that about you, I can see why somebody would say that about you. So when Michelle loves hard. She doesn't halfway love her man. She is
The only
about
thing I halfway do is sleep. Look,
she is about her man through and through. And I saw that
it's a
early.
tea bag.
Thank you, because I'm gonna definitely hit up some tea as soon as we're
Y'all,
done.
you just gotta understand. So, like, this is me, you know.
That's
Just,
like 50 pounds.
and it's got everything. It's got a personal look. I got flyers. I left one of these flyers
Why?
upstairs.
Yes, I was like, where did this come
This
from?
came from my bag. So we're having like this HBCU thing, and by we I mean one of my sorors. Her organization is, and that's in
cool.
September. Yeah.
I might pop up for that.
Yeah, see, that's why I left it so that y'all can go. Like I'm carrying books and journals. I got what else is it? This is a Barney bag, okay? I got a marketing book because I'm teaching a marketing class for the first time this year. Mind you, I've only cracked that book like once this summer. I got photo contracts for my photography business.
Focus.
Cough drop. Cough drop. Sorry.
Wait, you were doing all that to get cough drops in the middle of us talking about?
Because I wanted to give it to you.
Oh, thank you. I have cough drops
Yeah.
upstairs. Oh,
I
you
know,
mean
but
for
they're
now?
upstairs. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it for now. So I can see why her ex would say that, because Michelle is a dope individual. It's evident when you meet her. Yet think about that. A healed person, I don't believe would say that. And a healed person would recognize what value you bring to that person and wouldn't be pawning it off, kicking it away,
Always
stiff arming it. To me,
stiff
like
arming.
yeah, stiff arming.
Definitely.
Like that doesn't
He
make
did that
sense.
several times in the relationship. And again, I don't bash exes or anyone that I've dated. I feel like that's a waste of time and energy to bash someone else. But what I will say is this: you all enter into relationships healed. And if you can't enter into a relationship healed, if you can't, we said this last week, if you can't date yourself, then you're not ready to date anyone else. If you can't go out and enjoy your own company, if you can't have a conversation with yourself, then you're not ready to do it with someone else. I believe journaling is therapeutic. I know that meditation works for some, prayer works for others. Whatever it is, you need to be healed internally before you think of inviting someone else into a relationship with you.
Easily.
And I feel like that's something that King and I were able to do individually. And that's how we're able to be where we are today.
Yep. It wouldn't have worked in any other scenario.
Not at all.
Oh, today
What up, babe?
we went to a salt cave.
We did.
That was actually pretty dope. It was what she say,
Pink Himalayan salt.
salt. And it was using this halogen therapy. I might have said the word wrong.
I don't know the word.
But you have to have a certain thing for it to be like that word therapy. Halogen. I don't know. We'll put it in the description.
And we'll put the link to where we went.
It was fantastic. It was a really good experience. It was what I needed too, because I woke up thinking I might have the C word, the beer virus.
He woke up this morning thinking that.
And ended up taking one of the home tests. The home test came out negative. So I'm very lethargic at the moment. I think whatever my body's fighting off, it's fighting it hard. So I'm hoping that over the next day or two.
Don't forget to do all the wonderful home remedies that I stand by. Like, I am not a medical doctor, but I do have in my mind certification from WebMD. That's not a real thing, y'all. Please don't go tell nobody Michelle is a doctor, because I'm not one yet. But don't forget, you have rum upstairs. You have the Jamaican rum upstairs. So make sure you wash your face in some Jamaican rum. Make sure you inhale it as well. So just like close one nostril, inhale, close the other, inhale. Take a really, really, really hot shower so that it like opens up your pores and everything, and it can receive that rum as you're doing it. I believe that 100% cranberry juice heals everything, because if you think about it, when people have like UTIs and stuff like that, man, I really am hitting that TMI. Anyway, when people have some in like UTIs, they tell you to drink cranberry juice to like flush it out. So in my mind, I've always believed that cranberry juice can flush out any impurities that are within the body. So make sure you have some cranberry juice. Drink it. Yeah, because that good old CVS run this morning hooked everything up. But make sure you take care of you.
That I will. And you know what's awesome? So I'd ask her for one thing, and Cheryl comes by with this whole remedy of stuff that is like, look, I need you to be well because she doesn't like it when her man is sick.
I mean, how do I put this nicely without sounding like arrogant or anything like that? Oh, this don't sound so bad.
Oh.
Okay. It's not that I don't like seeing you sick, because no one wants to see someone that they love hurting and in pain. I don't. But I do enjoy taking care of you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Also, too, I just thought about it. We're not going to be able to close our show the way we normally close.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm sad. I thought about that earlier.
Huh.
Trust me, I had that That was something I processed hours ago.
Okay.
I needed to process it.
Okay.
I know.
Sorry.
Are you laughing at me?
No. It's laughing at the thought.
Yeah. But it's okay.
It is.
The love is still there.
It is. Sometimes.
What?
Ha! It's been a while. I haven't hit you with a sometimes.
Again,
at all.
Another inside joke that we have. We have a lot of inside jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing.
All right. Well, I think we are getting up to that time where it is time to close out the show.
Make sure y'all tune in next week. We'll be live next week.
We will be live next week.
In color.
Do you know what we're talking about next week?
I don't remember.
Ooh, I do. Hold
What
on.
is it?
It's right here. Boom. Next week we are going to talk about
love after heartache possible.
Okay.
Ooh.
Is love after heartache possible? We gonna get into that one. Hey, y'all bring some examples.
When you're hurting so much,
I want y'all to think about the times that you had. I don't know this song.
Mariah Carey. To let you. I don't like her though.
Okay. What's the name of that song?
Love Takes Time.
Love Takes Time by Mariah Carey.
It was from the 90s. So, like, to know me is to know I absolutely loved 90s Mariah Carey. Y'all, can't nobody do what Mariah Carey did, okay? Mariah Carey had a #1 hit single every year in the 90s. Every single year for that entire decade. She had a #1 hit single because her stuff was fire, okay? Straight fire. Original Mariah Carey was like my homie.
Original. When did she change?
Around like 97, 98 when the boob jobs just like started increasing and like everything else started.
She might have been my second crush ever growing up. It was Mariah Carey.
And J-Lo.
J-Lo was my first. J-Lo was my first.
He likes to talk about me having a type, but homie has a type over here.
I might
have a type too.
Oh, you got a type. You got a type. And I don't know why that makes me giggle every time I think about your type. It makes me giggle. But Michelle has a type. That she does. If I have the time, I might splice both of our types into this video and put it up on the screen. I should do that. If I'm not gonna have the time between today and tomorrow, but if I did, that is exactly what I would have done.
Look. All you should know is that my type is King Smith.
I'll take it. Thank you, baby. Of course. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of the King and Me Show. We appreciate y'all rocking with me. We know that us rocking with us. Or me. Get it? See how I played that off? But thank y'all for tuning in. We love the people that do watch, comment, hit that like button and stuff as well. We'll be back next week live. We'll be back on the live tip.
Color.
Do what you wanna do and live in color. But
we ain't even planned that, and we did that. Color. Yes, baby.
Boom.
Telling you.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess we'll do it this way since we can't sign off the way that we normally sign off. Do we just give each other a high five?
Okay.
All right.
Slow-mo
like this and connected. Bye, y'all.
Bye.